Next on Bands You've Probably Never Heard Of, the never-before-told story of one of the most obscure bands ever. Formed in Long Beach, California in the late 2000s, they went on to become one of the least recognizable bands in the history of music. Led by bandmates Cassidy Devereaux and Clover Quackenboss, they released 3 albums: The Magic of Waffles, their tragic follow-up, The Brilliance of Bacon, and now they hope to make a comeback with their latest album, The Enigma of Scones. I'm your host, Ivy Pendergrass, and this is Fierce Mittens, The Untold Story.
I first met Clover in the summer of 2008, and we instantly clicked. I was in a band at the time called Tiny Hat Revolution, and we had just broken up, so the timing was perfect.
About a month later, we played our first gig. Immortal pancakes in my tummy. Immortal pancakes taste so good. We were booed off the stage almost immediately.
When they started throwing eggs, I knew it was time to leave.
But it did help us get discovered by a manager, Rick Fontaine.
Fierce Mittens' manager, Rick Fontaine, had a singing career of his own for many years. But after failing to generate any mainstream success, he resorted to managing bands. I met up with him at his office to learn more.
Well, after a successful music career such as mine, I decided it was time to give back a little and help other struggling musicians. I had never managed a band before, and to be honest, I did not really understand what they do, but I knew that Rick Fontaine was up to the task.
As soon as we had Rick Fontaine on board, we released our first album, The Magic of Waffles.
The Waffle album didn't do very well, but I think it was because we didn't have any fans.
To get more fans, we realized we needed to go on tour, and to go on tour, we needed a roadie, so we hired Roxy.
I'm Fierce Mittens' biggest fan. I started their fan club, and then they invited me on tour with them. I think I'm a roadie.
Around this time, we came out with our second album, The Brilliance of Bacon. But it was a disaster.
During the making of the Bacon album, there were a lot of creative differences, and it resulted in Ramona leaving the group.
Wait, who's Ramona?
She was the lead singer.
How can you be the lead singer and not be on any of the album covers?
I came up with everything. The names, the songs. I was the Beyonce. And then they only let me play tambourine and made me stand in the back. And my picture is only on the back of the albums.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened, but she was definitely more like the Kelly of the group.
Or Michelle.
She was more like that fourth girl that no one remembers.
Anyway, we're coming out with our third album now, The Enigma of Scones, and it's gonna be our best yet.
Have you ever thought of naming any of your albums after anything other than breakfast foods?
I don't understand.
Okay, well, that concludes this episode of Bands You've Probably Never Heard Of. I'm Ivy Pendergrass, and remember, if your favorite band is played on the radio, it's time to find another one because that band is dead to you. Good night.
Got any other questions? Nothing, huh? Anybody need an autograph? You're good? Okay, I guess that's about it then.